Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Jaron Ennis. Let's just start there. He didn't just shock the world. He really has made an impact on boxing, man. So much so that people have him and some of their pound-for-pound lists as ranked number 2 behind Usyk. Now, if you ask me, that's what I call taking it to the stupid. He ain't no number 2, but he deserves to be on that pound-for-pound list because obviously there's something special about Jaron Ennis. Those fists have power. There's IQ there. There's dog there. There's defense there. Offense there. There's footwork there. There's tenacity. There's commitment. There's passion. Love for the sport. Athleticism, power, speed, condition. He has everything. And he showed it. Boy, did he show it. But I'm going to tell you this right now, man. He got some big fights ahead of him. So if he's taking over boxing, I think that's a bit premature. But he's on his way. Is he the new king? Well, he's definitely the newest big name to really, I think take center stage. Because that performance, man, that performance he put on, fans have been waiting years to see. And what it's done is it's reignited discussions about his place amongst boxing's elite. Now, is he pound for pound material? I think so. Have they been saying that for a while? Yes. Did he show it? I think so. But a showdown with Sebastian Fundora, that's what seems to be in the play for September, October, November this year, like later this year. I'm seeing the reports. They're already having discussions. It's not from one source. It's multiple sources, reliable sources, not some little Willie from the goddamn corner who's just talking out of his ass. No, reliable sources are putting this out. So that right there is the fight that I think is really going to, propel him to superstar status because everyone knows from 154 to 168, Sebastian Fundora has a good chance of beating everybody. Just because he's 6'6" with an 81-inch reach. You know what I'm saying? And he's fighting tall now. Hard for anybody to come close. The man has the reach of like Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. But he's fighting down, again, 154 right now. Could go up, 160, 168 before he retires. So Fundora's a handful. But let's go ahead and break down Crawford's latest comments about being retired. While Crawford's comeback could still his comeback could still command enormous money, especially since now people are talking about Ennis and Crawford, but Crawford's not coming back. He said he's not coming back, so they could leave that alone. This whole thing about Ennis and Fundora, Xander Zayas looking for the rematch. Jose Valenzuela, man impressed when he fought Los Santos, didn't he? He really impressed. But at the same time, we got to really dig into that because that win doesn't really mean that Valenzuela is ready for someone like Shakur Stevenson. But we're going to talk about that. The Manny Pacquiao, he was supposed to be fighting Floyd Mayweather. That's out of here. Now he could be going to, Australia to fight Paro. But then you're hearing he could be fighting Rolly Romero. So I don't know. Then we're going to talk about Moses Atama and Filip Hrgović and how more people are starting to worry that Atama's going to lose. Because Filip Hrgović can not only fight, but he's got a chin of steel. So Moses Atama will have his hands full. But if he clips Filip Hrgović, then Moses Atama kind of going through what like Jaron Ennis went through, A lot of people are saying that, Moses Atama is that guy, but he still hasn't had that real fight to really put him on the map. This is the one because, what's his name? The Jamaican big Dillian White, that wasn't the fight for him. Now, Deontay Wilder is supposed to be fighting Usyk. We're going to talk about that too. And look, everybody has an opinion on that, but majority feel Wilder, he won't last. Then Caitlyn Clark, she's making sporting history. And then Claressa Shields and Baumgardner. If I'm doing a video, a roll-up, I got to throw that in there. Now, let's just jump in it, man. Jaron Ennis made a statement. Scored a dominant knockout over Xander Zayas. Many fans would see this as a performance that officially announced him as one of boxing's elite. Now, the Jaron Ennis contingent is going to tell you, he's always been elite. Y'all need to hold your horses and stop taking to the stupid. We've been trying to tell you. But the thing is, nobody listens. You know why? Because these are people that only talk about one fighter. They don't talk about anyone else. So no one's going to listen to you because you biased as hell. So when Jaron Ennis or their favorite fighter does good, in their world, they're the all-knowing and shit. But one thing we know is all these fighters can fight And there's some find a way to win and some find a way to lose. And when Zayas and Ennis fought, Ennis found a way to win. And that's all it is. But the conversation with Ennis winning, it shifted big time. It's not about it's no longer about can Ennis become great. It's now about shit, who can beat him? Because he had to dig deep. Yeah, Xander Zayas was 23. He was a unified champion. Did he have the IQ and experience and athleticism and power and stuff and the versatility of Jaron Ennis? No. But that doesn't mean his career is over because he hurt Jaron. He hurt him. Jaron, like his soul left his body for a minute. It's just like, you ever cut off a snake's head and watch the snake still squirm or the snake will still strike? It's like Jaron had his head cut off, but his body was still going and his mind was still, somehow was still functioning. But it was just, I don't know if it was nerves or what, but Boots was still getting busy. And I was like, that shit's crazy. But for Xander Zayas, he hurt him, but he lost, but he ended up losing still, but it doesn't matter. Daniel Dubois, he got clipped early in his career, got his orbital broken, came back. Look at Daniel Dubois now. Daniel Dubois is a champion, two-time champion, and he's a handful. I think that's what's going to happen with Xander Zayas. But when people talk about Jaron, who can beat him now? A signature victory changes how opponents view you, how fans view you, how promoters market you, and how fans are going to rank you. That's why people are ranking Jaron on the pound-for-pound list right underneath Usyk. Usyk number 1, he's number 2. I don't think we should be getting there yet, but I'll tell you this right now. Jaron Ennis, you want to compare elite fighters? How about this? You look at Jaron Ennis, explosive offense. Talk about athleticism, confidence, ability to finish fights. Then you talk about his weaknesses. Can sometimes rely on athletic gifts a bit too much. He showed that in the fight with Xander Zayas. Seems to be worried about what the crowd is saying. Still showing some immaturity. Just trying to, what I call it, play in the ass. You know what I mean? In there playing the ass instead of staying locked in and not trying to play with his food. Yo, man, you there at the table to eat, not be on your iPhone, not be on no iPad. Sit down while the food's hot. Eat the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing around. And eat your salad too and everything. Don't leave nothing on your plate. Jaron is the kind of guy sit there, man, eat the chicken that got gristle. Nah, play around, eat the gristle and shit. No, man, eat everything, eat the bone and everything. That's what got him in trouble. But that's one of his weaknesses, man. But he did, but aside from that, they were complaining he's never faced any elite fighter. He did face an elite fighter. Xander Zayas was elite. He had 2 titles. Was he the best in the division? I don't know about that, but he was elite. So you got to give Jaron his credit. Now, as far as opportunities, Fundora, we know Crawford ain't gonna fight him, but you know we always gonna throw Crawford's name out there. But Fundora is the big opportunity for him, and there could be other championship fights. They're talking about Josh. I forgot his name, man. The other fella at 154 who has a title, he signed to Eddie Hearn as well. They're talking about making that fight, the Olympian, man. Can't remember his last name. But that's another opportunity for him, for Boots to go out and become, unified and pull another title. You have 3. With Fundora is another opportunity again to pick up a belt. But the threats, right, is him fighting somebody like a Fundora. Fundora's large, man. That dude, tall, got reach, he's fighting tall. I don't care what no one says, that's a hard fight for Boots. If Boots can somehow figure out Fundora, you got to make him the boxing god. You know what I'm saying? For real. He's going to be a boxing god, in my opinion. Because I just don't see anybody right now beating Fundora. I just don't see it. If Fundora doesn't want you to get to him, you're not going to get to him. Fundora's accuracy rate is ridiculous. I think it's like 76% or something. Fundora's jab is ridiculous. That shit is like a heat-seeking missile. It always hits the target. So I just think it's going to be a difficult fight for Boots. And he got to watch out for them disciplined counters that's coming from Fundora. But the thing is, I don't even think Boots is going to get a chance to get his offense off because Fundora's volume. He could sit there and just stick that jab out. He could throw 100 jabs around and get into the last round and not even be sweating. You know what I mean? So Fundora is a handful. So that to me is the biggest threat for Jaron Ennis. Is one, I would say, is immaturity. But fighting these guys, someone like Fundora who's really big with the reach and who's disciplined and accurate and also has power. Now, as far as Terence Crawford, look, he's retired. He's maintaining that. Fans are going to speculate because elite fighters often receive offers that are difficult to ignore. Crawford had been offered $200 million to fight Conor McGregor in a 2-fight deal. I think it was $2 million a fight, like $400 million, or if not just $200 million, $100 million a fight. One in the octagon, one in the boxing ring. But Crawford turned the shit down. He said, not all money is worth it. But I'll tell you this, if people wonder why people worried about Terence Crawford coming back. Same reason people wanted Crawford to fight Mayweather when Mayweather was on the out. They wanted Earl Spence to fight Mayweather. They wanted Keith Thurman to fight Mayweather. That's what happens, man. They got these young guns coming up, and they want them to fight the older heads, to kind of pass the torch off. They didn't get the damn Crawford fight. The Mayweather fight, and now Boots Ennis is not getting the Crawford fight. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But I will tell you that right now with Turki Alycia in the mix, I still think Crawford's going to stay retired, but, I think Turki put up the kind of money and willing to pay a premium for marquee matchups because it just, what superstars do we have in boxing right now? Especially in that weight class. So as far as Crawford, I just don't think he returns, but ultimately it depends on his own priorities and the money, opportunities, how he feels, if he really wants to have his body get beat down, do another training camp. But I just don't think, I think he's mentally checked out. And my advice for Crawford, me being a retired guy, you feel that shit. I felt it. I felt it like 5 years before I actually retired. I was done with that shit. And I just got, to a point where I made sure my money was all right. And it was. And I was like, shit, I don't ever have to work another day in my life. My kids, nobody had to do shit. So, but it took discipline to get to that point. And where other people didn't want to do certain things, I was busting my ass and doing it. So I made sure that I was finding a way to win. And Crawford did that. He did that. So the man got dope. Crawford don't need to fuck around. So he shouldn't. But that doesn't mean that Jaron Boots Ennis is safe necessarily, or there's no opportunity because you got somebody named Sebastian Fundora. Now, I'll tell you this, Fundora and Boots are in negotiations right now. I said that earlier. I'm telling you again, I'm not making this shit up. But Fundora presents problems unlike almost anyone else because of that unusual combination of height, reach, activity, and toughness, man. So regardless of talent, opponents have to solve a puzzle that very few fighters at that weight can replicate in training. How you going to find a sparring partner for Fundora? You know what I'm saying? That's why many fans consider Fundora one of the most difficult stylistic matchups in boxing. Plus, he's a southpaw. That shit is all bad. Now, when it comes to Xander Zayas, we can't leave him out. We got to put some respect on the Puerto Rican's name. Word on the street, he wants the rematch. It exists. Sounds like he's exercising it. But we got to wait to see how it plays out because it doesn't really mean anything. But if he wants it, he's got to get it. But the way he was getting hurt, he may say, okay, it's probably best to go on and do something else than fight him. But what we're hearing is that he's supposedly activated it. But then you're hearing Jaron is negotiating with Fundora. So I know how Eddie Hearn works. He'll have 3-4 pokers in the fire, seeing which one gets hot. And that's probably what he's doing, just seeing what's going to happen with Zayas, talks going on with Fundora, and just see what ends up, materializing. But I just think many great rivalries are built on adaptation. You know what I'm saying? The first fight teaches lessons. The second tests whether those lessons were learned. And for Xander Zayas, that's what I think happened. He's going to learn a lot from that first fight and go back, make the adjustments, and try to get the second fight with Boots to see if those lessons were learned. But at the same time, more to come on all that because we don't know what direction things are going to go. The bottom line is Boots has opportunities. Now, great fight this weekend with those guys, but there was also a fight that happened this weekend. Jose Valenzuela and Edwin de Los Santos. It was a rematch, but Valenzuela continued to earn respect for his improvement. I don't know what the hell's happened since he left Jose Benavidez Sr., but Valenzuela just seems to be getting better and better and better. You know what I'm saying? And there was some controversy surrounding the end of the fight with De Los Santos. He did hit him when he was down, but he was hurting him throughout the first round and the second round. And that second round, when he hit him with that right hook, it messed him up. It hurt De Los Santos bad. He was down. But then he did come and hit him with the cleanup, goddamn left uppercut. While De Los Santos was down, that was a foul. That was a cheap shot. It was illegal, and that's why De Los Santos' team is looking for filing a no contest and wants to have it'll be a third fight, a trilogy. But I'm just going to tell you, I like to put some respect on Jose Valenzuela's name for getting the win against De Los Santos. But everybody out here trashing De Los Santos, nah. Talking about, oh, look, and here Shakur ran from him. That De Los Santos was active. That De Los Santos was comfortable at that weight. De Los Santos right now, that man was inactive for a while. He had to cut a whole bunch of weight, basically have a fat boy camp, and he got in the ring and it showed. You know what I'm saying? No punch resistance. And Valenzuela can crack. But I think there was more to that loss than what people are mentioning. But I'm going to be real. Valenzuela deserves all the credit for getting the win. It's not his fault if De Los Santos had to go in the fat camp. But the reality is that wasn't the De Los Santos that fought Shakur, and Valenzuela did hit him while he was down. And I know why he did. He hit him while he was down, the same reason why Roy Jones Jr. hit Montel Griffin while he was down, because he like, fuck that. I don't want to be in here with this guy, man, who's going to mess around and hit me with some shit. So that's all that was. But I think the official review would depend on the relevant commission and applicable rules. But I think they also look at the footage, and I don't care what the rules say. I mean, it's pretty cut and clear that, Edwin De Los Santos got hit after the bell. Now Shakur Stevenson, calling out Shakur is one thing. Defeating him is another, And I'm going to keep saying this, man. Valenzuela wants to fight Shakur. The fight's interesting. But I just think to have success against Shakur Stevenson, that shit requires elite footwork, disciplined pressure, ring cutting, requires patience, and avoiding frustration. You had to come in there and be composed. And then you need to have the boxing gods on your side. You need a little bit of magic, because no fighter has solved the Shakur Stevenson puzzle. And there's a reason for that, because he's God gifted. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said somebody's going to need a little magic potion if they want to come in there and clip somebody like Shakur Stevenson. But anyway, Shakur is out here. Who knows what he's going to do next? He's going to fight Haney. He's going to still go to 135. No one knows what Shakir's going to do. But one thing's for sure is whoever he's fighting, like they say, not one person has solved that puzzle. But I just think you got to favor Shakur Stevenson. Now, this is a little bit out of boxing, but it's a basketball thing with Caitlyn Clark and her impact. Look, I don't know. I'm starting to watch it a little bit more. I know who she is, but man, I don't know why people like her or why people dislike her, but I'll tell you this. Her merchandise continues selling at historic levels. You know what I'm saying? It reflects more than individual popularity. And I think all females and males could learn something from her, because, it's not even somebody's like, oh, it's because she's white. Nah, man. There's black people support her. There's a lot of people supporting her, man, and rooting for her. So she's doing something right. You know what I'm saying? But what that does with her, I think since 2024, she's the first woman to have merchandise outsell the guys. And right now, Steph Curry's number one. She's number two. That's crazy. And LeBron James is even after her. So Caitlyn Clark is having an impact, man, and whether people like her or not, she's doing something right. And I think a lot of these women can learn from her. You know what I'm saying? But what that does, it shows a continued commercial growth in women's sports and demonstrates that female athletes can become major drivers of consumer demand. And women's boxing needs to be paying attention to that shit too. She ain't out here necessarily trying to act ignorant and cuss and carry on and talk about stay off my P word and all y'all hoes and all y'all B words and F y'all N words and this. She don't do that. So for all these female boxers that keep saying they just don't want to put money in boxing and this and that, maybe it's because of what's coming out of your fucking mouth. You know what I'm saying? And for those whose mouth who speak, I think in a professional manner, you got to get your wins up and you got to work on your profile. But this is the opportunity, man. I'm going to be honest with you. Claressa Shields has a lot of attention on the sport of boxing. Yeah, she don't have the right attitude. Ain't nobody, you have a bunch of woke t-shirts or shirts. I don't know how many people going to buy it. I would hope that everybody can be successful because I ain't a negative person, but I'm just being honest with you. With the attention she has on women's boxing, and then with Caitlyn Clark and the attention she has in basketball, I know it's two different sports. I'm just saying this is an opportunity for people to make money, especially the ladies. It's an opportunity to make money. Just like I do videos on Claressa and I make money, and all these content creators make videos on Claressa and make money, there are people out here who are content creators that only talk about Caitlyn Clark, and they're making hella money. Hella money. So it's an opportunity for everyone, the athlete and the creators, to make some dough. Enough about Caitlyn Clark, because that ain't boxing, so I'm done with that shit. Now, Manny Pacquiao, I don't know what old man Pacquiao's going to do. He's supposed to fight Mayweather, then the fight got pushed back. Now he's fighting Rolly Romero, and they don't know if that's happening. I don't know what the hell Pacquiao's doing, but he's still out here looking for something. You know, he's just like a bad fart that just still lingering around in the room. You know what I mean? Hour gone by, 2 hours gone by. That shit's got your clothes and got the curtains. It's like, God damn, shit still. That's what Manny Pacquiao, he's just still hanging around. But I don't know what he's going to do, who his next opponent's going to be. But until agreements are officially announced, multiple scenarios remain possible for old man Pacquiao. Because he's still a big name, still a big draw, still big money for anyone fighting Pacquiao. But I wouldn't be surprised if he went to Australia and fought Paro for Paro's new, I think, IBF belt. I would not be surprised if Manny Pacquiao, but I don't know if he'd want to go back to Australia, especially after what happened to him and Jeff Horn. So more to come on old man Pacquiao going toe-to-toe. Then you got Virgil Ortiz. Social media comments pissed me off, man. He out here talking shit about Jaron Ennis, Xander Zayas. Virgil Ortiz need to go away. Get the hell out of here. I lost respect for that guy, man. Get out of here. You out here talking about De La Hoya this, you're going to be a free agent. Now all of a sudden, you and De La Hoya kumbaya? You're going to finish your 3 fights on the Golden Boy? But you out here disrespecting Jaron, calling Xander Zayas a pussy. Talking about you would have knocked Jaron Boots Ennis out. Man, get out of here. You still got Bohachuk problems. Don't get me wrong. I used to be out here defending Ortiz. The man had rhabdomyolysis, man. How y'all making fun and jokes and all that? Kick that man while he's down. I got videos out there about that. I used to be defending this dude. And then to see old fucking rhabdo boy come out here and talk his shit the way he is, I'm like, the fuck out of here. I don't respect that shit. And don't get me wrong, he can fight. I don't respect it. So he needs to focus on getting back in the ring and performing. But these public exchanges, they've influenced how he's viewed, man. You know? And him and how he views outside competition just lets you know he don't have no respect for nobody. You know what I'm saying? He can say, oh, they're fighters, they go back and forth. Man, get out of here with that bullshit. I lost all respect for that guy. You know, he probably don't care, but you know what? I don't give a fuck either. So when I talk about him now, I'm going to shred him. But I'm not going to, take away from him as a fighter because he can fight. But I'm going to shred him. Because I just thought that shit was corny, man. Corny. You see them two guys, Jaron Ennis and Xander Zayas, put on the fight of their life, man. That shit was beautiful. He was in a life or death situation with Bohachuk. Bohachuk was knocking his ass down all over the ring. Bohachuk beat him. But they jerked him on the scorecard. Everybody knows that Bohachuk got robbed. Even Bohachuk knows he got robbed. And Ortiz to come out here popping shit like, man, get out of here. Hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. So no respect for Ortiz, man, for that rant. That shit to me was horrible, especially as a fighter. Get out of here. Now, that being said, all the respect in the world for Moses Atama. The young gunner, heavyweight hitter is going to be taking on Filip Hrgović. But I'm telling you right now, man, many people, maybe they watch my videos. They like, yo, this is a significant step up for Atama. Now we're realizing Hrgovic's amateur pedigree and as a pro, how dominant he's been, how he has that granite chin. Shit, boy, the experience, durability, and composure make him a difficult test for Atama, as Atama being a rising heavyweight. And they're like, shit, verdicts out on who they think's going to win. There are a lot of people out there in the UK who've been shitting bricks because they're like, uh-oh, our boy just may get clipped by Hrgović. All I'll say is I'm going to be tuned in because I'm just saying if Atama can't hurt Hrgović and get him up in the way, Atama going to have a tough time. Now, talking about somebody who may or may not have a tough time, Oleksandr Usyk. Well, word on the street, he's going to be fighting Deontay Wilder in his last fight. Now, most people feel Usyk will tranquilize Deontay Wilder. Now, to that I say, in the most respectful way, hey, yo, hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. There was a time where I would say Wilder would knock him out. First round, bing, get him up out of there. Then time passed, and now it was like, yo, Usyk knocks Wilder out. First left hand, hit him with the goddamn Ukrainian bomb. Wilder's up in the way. But then we saw Usyk struggle with Rico Verhoeven. I'm like, shit, Usyk may have gotten old overnight. So right now, I feel that fight's, I think if it materializes, it'll be fascinating. You know what I'm saying? Because of the contrasting styles. I mean, it would really, really be interesting. Usyk relies on movement, angles, technical precision. Wilder possesses one of the sport's most recognizable knockout punches, the big right hand. And all I'm saying is, you got to favor Usyk. I understand, but power can change a fight instantly. But you gotta land the shit. Can Wilder land on can he land on Usyk? That's the question. Easier said than done. And again, Wilder ain't even Verhoeven. Not right now. Wilder all over the place. So let's see if Wilder can sustain some success over 12 rounds against a technician like Usyk. Because fighting someone like Usyk, and if you're trying to sustain some kind of success over 12 rounds, especially if you can't knock him out, that presents its own challenge. You know what I'm saying? So good luck to D-Dub, man. Now, Claressa Shields. Claressa Shields, she's still out here, man. Went to the BT Awards. She didn't win. Had orange hair. She just looked like a kid, man, you know, just who finally went on their first vacation, the first airplane, or whatever. The way she was acting there in Papoose, like he had seen a goddamn ghost. He just ain't look happy. I don't know what's wrong with that guy, man. You out there like that, looking so serious, so he looked lost. He looked embarrassed. You see him kind of watching to see her looking at him, and she holding on to him. It's almost like he didn't want her. He's like, shit, I gotta be the one to go out here and take one for the team. He ain't look comfortable. I'm just being honest with you. I'm watching that like, where's the smile? You should be hugged up, kissing, and want the world to see you with your girl. But that ain't the energy he puts off. But the bottom line is her public image continues to generate strong reaction from supporters and critics alike. And this whole thing with the legal matters related to Alycia Baumgardner and how she went and slapped the shit out of a man, I'm just going to tell you, man, those issues will ultimately be resolved through the appropriate legal or organizational processes rather than public speculation. I had somebody on my channel talking about, oh, I do legal. What the fuck is I do legal? Don't come on my channel. Motherfucker, you do hair. You know what I'm saying? I do legal. This is the shit that be annoying me, man. Don't come out here like you kicking knowledge, trying to tell me I'm wrong. I'm telling y'all, when it comes to this Alycia Baumgardner, Claressa Shields shit, I don't know if the case has been settled out of court. I just think I don't think so. And the reason I say that is because Alycia said, y'all just wait. Y'all just wait. Think I'm not going to get the last laugh. She said it like 2 days ago. So y'all tell me, right? How is the case settled already? If she just said this 2 days ago, then how is it the same day she said it, all of a sudden all of these so-called goddamn, YouTube lawyers know that the case, y'all understand, people say shit for clicks and views. So yeah, I ain't got time for that bullshit. But plus, anyone who's on the channel should know Hood Champion's the guy about setting placeholders, planning factors, and we just chill. And let's see how it plays out. So that's how it is when it comes to Claressa Shields and Alycia Baumgardner. Just let it play out. But trust me, I put it to you this way. We can all agree on this. There's something brewing. I believe that 100%. There is something brewing. And it ain't going to be good for Claressa Shields. You better believe that, Jack. So, more to come on Alycia Baumgardner, Claressa Shields. We got to wait and see how it all plays out. But anyway, Claressa Shields, she brought a lot of this shit on herself. You can say what you want. You want to argue. But you can't be putting your hands on people and bragging about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care and I don't this. Okay, Al Capone. Well, now we about to go all the way. We're going to see if you care. And we're going to see who cares about Claressa Shields. And this is just being real. If they really go at her for some dough, we're going to see who care about her. And if she got the money to pay it. Or if she files bankruptcy to where she doesn't have to pay it. Or if she needs to take a loan out from somebody to pay it and then, Maybe what's she going to have to pay them back? Maybe she now, people talk about these 360 deals. Maybe but she may have to take someone, give her the money to pay that shit. And then now, she's a slave to them. I mean, you just don't know. Maybe nothing comes out of it. I'm just telling you, there's a lot of what ifs. I'm not so quick to come out here and, solve the case and shit. Nah, I mean, because I don't have enough information. But I would say this, if in fact Claressa was getting if the case was settled, I think Claressa would have been said something, or Alycia would have said something, or some of these people, very brilliant people on the internet, would have been able to go out and pull that shit up, because a lot of that shit's public record. I got someone I'm going to reach out. Matter of fact, I have someone I can reach out to, and they will be able to pull it up. They will be able to pull it up, because they have all this shit people talk about on all these channels since August of last year. I talk about some of it. I've had all that information before all of them. I got people out here, man, secret squirrels, man. The shit they get. And they be like, why you don't talk about it? I'm like, y'all know that I ain't a gossip channel. At night, if somebody mentions something, I'll kind of fill in the gaps. And they be like, how you know that? Don't worry. But I got the amount of information I have is ridiculous. But I will reach out, because this I'm interested in, to see if they can find out if, in fact, there's been any kind of settlement. They would know. These two people I'm talking about, they would know. Y'all don't need to know nothing about their background, because they can get their ass in trouble. But they know. That's why you got to be careful, man, who you piss off. People out here have access to a lot of shit. But I'll ask that. I'll ask that since everyone's talking about it. That being said, man, y'all keep cool, all right? A lot going on in boxing. Really, really good weekend. Anyway, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.